First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello everyone, this is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thank you for joining us. We're coming to you now with breaking news regarding the lawsuit that former Timbers goalie Jake Gleeson brought against team doctor Richard Dawson. And the lawsuit, as far as the jury came back, was all in favor of Jake Gleeson. I've got the responses right here. There were a number of different counts as far as this lawsuit was concerned that Jake Gleeson had brought up. For a little bit of a backstory, this is associated with the fact that Jake Gleeson had a surgery on his leg a number of years ago. This doctor was the one performing that surgery, and the dispute is whether there was a sterilization technique that was used that ended up causing further problems. I believe 14 surgeries for Gleeson, and according to him, suffering immensely since then, pain, the end of his career, and so those were kind of in what some of this lawsuit was about. And we're going to hear from Jake Gleeson right after this, but I just want to give you this context so you know what the ruling was as we came in. I'm going to read it off here. So to the question of was the doctor negligent in using IUSS? This was that sterilization technique that I brought up. 12 jurors said yes. Was negligence the cause of damage to Gleeson? Yes, 11 jurors said to that. Was the doctor negligent in failing to disclose IUSS use to Gleeson afterward? 12 jurors said yes. Was negligence in failing to disclose cause of damage? Yes, 11 counts in there as well. Now, the economic damages, this is something else that was all part of this. Totaling around $25 million was what Gleeson was pursuing for this. Past medical damages were $413,533.18. That one was 12 jurors. Future medical, $387,500. And 11 jurors said yes to that. There is some dispute as far as how much that is going to be. They were arguing that out in court. Past lost wages, $2 million. Future impaired earnings, $2 million. Non-economic damages, $15 million. And the jurors all agreed that those were the correct amounts. So that's where we're at right now. Again, that's a pretty quick catch up on this. We were able to speak to Jake Gleeson after this happened, and that's what we want to play for you right now is this interview very shortly after the jury came back in favor of his lawsuit.
Of course, it was really emotional, I'm sure, hearing what the jury decided after weeks of hearing about what you went through. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I still think it hasn't quite sunk in. This has been 6.5 years of waiting to kind of get justice on what occurred on that first surgery, and I think for me today just showed that you can't cut corners, and when you cut corners as a surgeon, and when you cover up the corners that you cut, that you have to be held accountable. And I really hope this just reaches a lot of people, because this took away not only my career but impacted me dramatically for a number of years, and it will for the rest of my life. So I just hope that this sends a message through that you can't do that, you know, and if you're going to do that, you have to be held accountable.
Yeah, absolutely. What's next for you now that this chapter is, I'm sure, kind of finally closing?
Yeah, I would like to sleep. I would like to kick my NyQuil addiction, lots of therapy, and I want to spend time with my beautiful fiance, soon-to-be wife, and hopefully we can celebrate and really look forward to get past what's been a pretty tough, 6.5 years.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, as we've been covering your experience here, we've heard a lot of support from the Timbers Army and from people who are still, rooting for you all these years. Do you have any message for them?
Yeah. It was tough initially because I felt like I was kind of abandoned or thrown out by the Timbers organization when this all happened. So to see the Timbers Army kind of rally behind me has been super special. Portland felt like a place that I wasn't welcome anymore because of that. And now hearing support from the Timbers Army, and I hope to attend a game with them, though I'll see how that goes. It makes me feel that Portland's back to being that home that it was when I first moved here, that home after Wellington, and that's a pretty special feeling because it was tough coming back here.
I'm sure. Well, thank you. I'll let you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, again, that was hearing from Jake Gleeson right after that lawsuit was announced, the verdict, rather, from the jury, and which in all cases all came back in favor for Jake Gleeson versus Dr. Edelson. And we will have all of this up at kptv.com if you'd like to go through this in more detail. We've been covering this case since it started, so we've got some pretty extensive coverage going on with this, but that was Jake Gleeson speaking himself there, the former Timbers goalie, addressing some of the feelings that came of winning this lawsuit, and also the city of Portland and the Timbers in general as well. So a lot to unwrap right there. It's certainly been an emotional trial, and we wanted to get you these details and that word from Jake as soon as we could. But again, you can go to kptv.com to follow up. We'll, of course, be covering this on our 4 p.m. news and going throughout the evening. We'll bring you some of the more details that came through on this. There's a lot of numbers, a lot of things to figure out on that, but largely, by and large, actually for every case, came back in favor for Jake Gleeson from the jury. There you go. That is our breaking news. We wanted to get to you as soon as possible. This is Fox 12 Now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Nibbler. We'll talk to you soon.